Would you like to improve teamwork in your business? I'm going to share with you three strategies. Actually, I'll throw in a fourth on this episode of Bite-Sized Brilliance. Hi, I'm Ken Okel. I'm a motivational keynote speaker, and I talk to audiences about ways you can improve your performance on the job, get better. I also write books. The latest is called Get Better: Smart Business Advice from Unexpected Mentors, available now. When it comes to teamwork, a lot of leaders want more teamwork in their organization, yet feel frustrated when it's not materializing. Okay, let's break it down. First tip that I want to talk to you about: communication. In a lot of organizations, the communication is not very good. Things are communicated through gossip, instructions are confusing. See if, as a leader, you can tighten up that communication process and especially focus on the big picture. What are the goals of the organization? If you're asking people to do something differently, why is it important for them to buy into it? Make sure those things are communicated. If changes just seem to come down with no rhyme or reason, is it any wonder that people may not be showing that much teamwork, may not feel like they're part of a work family? When there's unknowns, especially when there's a lack of good communication, people fill those gaps with their own ideas. You don't care about me. Oh, this is just another silly request that they have, which we'll ignore. See how that goes? Communicate as best you can with employees. You'll start to see some good benefits. Next, to have more teamwork, create more team building activities. A few different ways you can do this. Internally, where maybe there's something, a goal that your entire organization has, something you're going to work toward. Maybe it is a brainstorming session where you bring lots of people from different departments together. There's a problem. They need to come up with a solution that can work as well as possible for everyone. A common team building activity might be some sort of volunteer project. People discuss how they could help their community. A project is selected. People go out, spend some time on it. They get to know each other outside of work, outside of their positions. This is important because when you just think of someone as my supervisor or that person from that other department, it's hard to relate to them. Where if you have a chance to know who they are, maybe you help put some canned food into a box to help out the needy. Well, when you do something like that, you learn a little bit more about someone else. So think about team building activities that you can do in your organization. Our third tip involves recognition programs. Simple things like Employee of the Month. Some might want to expand it into people who have maybe gone the extra mile, people who have been around for a long time in your organization, newcomers who have had an impact. Think about the criteria that you would like to recognize. And then I suggest creating a small committee, people from different departments who select the winners or just those who are going to be recognized for doing a good job. I do suggest making sure that this is organization wide in terms of representation on the committee, but also in terms of who gets the award. You don't want to have one department constantly winning the award. And sometimes that's not a function of people being sneaky in the selection process, but some positions are more visible than others, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not more valuable. Make sure if you're doing awards that people feel like, yeah, this is something I could win. This is something I should aspire to, or this is something where I should tell my coworkers, hey, great job. The final tip for having more teamwork in your business, let's call this a bonus tip, is to make sure you're talking about teamwork during the hiring process. When you're interviewing candidates for jobs, do you tell them about the organization? Do you say, this is a place where we help each other out, where we pitch in, where we stay late to help a colleague who is suddenly drowning in work? Do you state those things, or do you assume that people will pick it up? This is important because an employee culture has to be talked about to become real in many cases. It doesn't just happen overnight. Make sure you communicate to the potential candidate for the job, hey, are these things you're willing to do? I realize that in a job interview, pretty much everyone's going to say, oh, of course. But just telling them that may sway them one way or another. For instance, let's say there was a similar job they were applying for. Everything else is the same, but they hear that this place is all about teamwork. Ooh, that could be a check that helps your organization in that person's mind. So making sure that the culture is talked about, especially to new employees, because sometimes what happens is the people who have been really good at teamwork, they move on to other positions, they move to a different part of the country, and that great employee culture starts to go down. Make sure it continues as people come and go from your business. For more about me, hey, go to my website, kenokel.com. While there, you can see some clips from my speaking presentations. What else can you do? You can listen to my podcast, The 2-Minute Takeaway. And you can find out more about that book, Get Better, Smart Business Advice from Unexpected Mentors, available now on Amazon. Just a click away. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks for taking an interest in improving teamwork in your business. I'm Ken Okel. Take care.